All right, if you're a business owner and retirement is on your mind, listen up. We've got to be blunt here. There is a very real, very immediate threat to your net worth. In fact, what you do or don't do in the next 12 months could fundamentally change your entire financial future.
Let's start with a number, 20%. That's the potential value your business could lose if you wait just 1 year to sell. Just think about that for a second. A full fifth of your life's work just gone because you waited.
So what's driving this? Here's another number for you, 10,000. Every single day, 10,000 baby boomers are retiring. And guess what? A lot of them are business owners, just like you, who are all about to hit the sell button at the same time. This isn't a trickle, it's a tsunami of businesses flooding the market. And when that happens, all the negotiating power, it shifts right out of your hands and straight to the buyer.
Okay, so let's really dig into this. I want to break down exactly why waiting is such a high-stakes gamble right now. And really, it all boils down to one of the oldest rules in the book, supply and demand.
You see, as more and more businesses just like yours hit the market, we're heading straight into what's called a buyer's market. And when a buyer has, say, a dozen good options to pick from, well, they can afford to be choosy, can't they? They'll negotiate harder, they'll drag their feet, and they'll push prices down. Suddenly, your business, your legacy, isn't so unique anymore. It gets lost in a sea of other options.
Look, this isn't just some abstract economic theory. This is happening right now. Let's get into some real-world stories, case studies of business owners who thought, I'll just wait 1 more year, and saw firsthand what that decision cost them.
First up, a manufacturing company in California. They had solid offers on the table. We're talking over $10 million, but they decided to wait. During that 1 year, a key piece of their operation fell through, and the value? It didn't just dip, it plummeted by 40%. That's a $4 million mistake. Gone.
Or how about this one? A distribution business. They get a letter out of the blue from a key supplier saying, we're done. Now they scrambled and they found alternatives, sure, but the damage was done. The disruption cost them business, and they ended up selling for 20% less than an offer they had on the table just months before.
And for our third example, picture this. A really stable, established business, years of steady profits. Then, boom, an aggressive new competitor enters the scene. To keep their customers, they had to slash prices. Profitability tanked by 30%, and their business valuation went right down with it.
So what do these stories tell us? They highlight an absolutely crucial difference between strategic waiting and just costly indecision. You see, waiting as part of a clear, actionable plan to, say, boost your company's value, that can be a brilliant move. But just waiting because you can't make a decision? As we've just seen, that's just an open invitation for risk. It leads to burnout, and it pushes your retirement further and further away.
And it's not just about what's happening inside your 4 walls or with your competitors. There are major external forces at play, things completely outside of your control that are lining up to take a bite out of the money you'll actually get to keep.
And you really need to pay attention here, especially if you're in a state like California. The rules of the game are changing. Things like the suspension of net operating loss deductions, new caps on tax credits. Look, these aren't just boring accounting terms. These are changes that can directly and significantly reduce the amount of cash you walk away with after a sale.
And for those of you with family-owned businesses, this one is huge, and it's already happened. The parent-child exclusion. You know, the rule that let you pass the business down without triggering a massive property tax reassessment? It's gone. Eliminated. That's a direct blow to anyone planning on multi-generational wealth transfer.
On top of all that, the way your business is even valued has changed. It's a whole new ballgame. Private equity buyers are huge players now, and they look at businesses through a different lens. They're laser-focused on your tech integration. They demand flawless documentation, and the valuation multiples they use, they're totally different from the old-school models you might be familiar with. And this right here, this table perfectly shows how critical your timing is to your final take-home pay. The difference in tax rates between short-term and long-term capital gains is just massive. We're talking up to 37% versus a max of 20%. Planning this correctly isn't just a good idea. It's the difference between leaving millions on the table for the taxman or putting it right in your own pocket.
Okay, so we've laid out the risks. The urgency is clear. Now let's pivot from the problems to the solutions. Let's walk through a concrete, actionable playbook you can use right now to build a defense and protect your valuation.
All right, here it is, your immediate 3-step readiness plan. Step 1, get your financials in order. That means 3 years of clean, verified statements ready to go. No excuses. Step 2, optimize your operations.
This is all about boosting your profitability, your EBITDA, and just as importantly, de-risking a business by diversifying your customer base. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. And step 3, a full-blown legal and compliance review. Make sure every single contract, permit, and piece of IP is locked down and secure.
Let's double-click on that second point about operations for a second. When a potential buyer, especially a savvy private equity firm, starts kicking the tires, this is what they're looking at. They're dissecting the quality of your revenue streams. They're looking at customer concentration. Are you too reliant on 1 or 2 big clients? They're analyzing your cash flow health and your growth rate. Making these specific metrics stronger is probably the single most powerful thing you can do to drive up your sale price.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. It's time to quantify the real long-term cost of doing nothing and then pinpoint the single most important action you need to take right now to secure your legacy.
This is it. This is the ultimate price of indecision. It's not just about a 20% hit in a single year. The analysis shows that a 7-year delay in your exit plan could mean losing about half of your potential wealth. Think about that. It's not just the lower sale price, it's the lost years of compound growth, the money your money could have been making for you during your retirement.
And here's one final dose of market reality for you. Even if your business valuation feels stable, it's losing ground. It's losing ground every single day compared to rapidly appreciating sectors like tech. The opportunity cost of having your net worth locked up in an asset that's just treading water, well, that cost gets bigger and bigger every single year.
So all of this, it brings us to one final critical question. You're facing a flooded market, shifting tax laws, new ways of valuing businesses, and this huge opportunity cost. So what is the single most effective step you can take to cut through all that noise and maximize your sale price? The answer is simple. You engage a professional. You retain a specialized M&A advisor. They're the ones who can structure a proper valuation, who can manage the incredibly complex negotiation process, who can navigate all those tax minefields, and, most importantly, create the competitive environment you need to get the absolute best price. In this market, trying to go it alone isn't brave. It's a liability.